Давай, давай, давай. Давай, давай, давай. Продолжить. Горячо. Ням-ням-ням. Ага.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you.
Слушай,
The rectangular sea-worn ornament.
может попробовать. Не, опять? Да
Heavy
попробуем.
wooden doors, more than twice your. A minute or
Бля.
so of mauling away at the lock has led to no success. The pry bar in your hand is giving you 0.
I'm not as sturdy as you are. I have even less leverage.
The doors remain unchanged, closed, with.
Я попробую. Бля, ну если такие долгие загрузки будут, то не буду.
Heavy wooden doors, more than a minute or so of. The doors remain.
Последняя попытка.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice. A minute or so of mauling away at the lock.
I'm not as...
The doors remain.
А чё карта обновилась? Сколько же нахуй заданий здесь, просто пиздец. Здесь были?
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling... It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to...
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
Так. А где эта куртка? Окей. А где этот кусок говна может тусить вообще? Я не помню. А, вот здесь, по-моему. Ага. Эй.
Tequila. Ah, tequila. I knew you'd come through. That's fucking great, man. Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. This is fucking filthy. What am I supposed to do with... I'm not taking a disgusting pile of hobo rags. I may be in an irrecoverably decaying orbit, but either bring it back the way it was before, or find a dumpster to burn it in.
You know, despite the guano, it looks like the jacket itself is stain resistant. It may just need a good scrubbing.
Да. Постирайте эту грязную куртку. Где? Я ее постираю-то, ёб твою мать. Ты чё, опух, придурок? А, может у вас, бабуля?
Our tenant, the policeman, I can wash it for you. But it's going to take about a half an hour.
Да.
I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do.
А, я думаю, мы сможем погулять в это время.
Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you take better care of it than its last owner.
Порог, защита от непогоды, сумрак, горячее сердце, драма. Это одна драма? А сумрак это что? Ага. Бля, минус драма. Уебский.
Tequila sunset. My jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you.
What the fuck are you talking about, Tequila? Phalm? That's medium concept stuff, not my style at all.
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend. I'm calling it. It's neurological.
That shit is so medium concept, I wouldn't touch it with a stick. But yeah, okay.
It's an okay jacket, if you are into that look. Okay, let's step aside for a second. I have
Давай.
some... I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense of style.
Ага.
I'm glad you finally started dressing a little more like an officer of the RCM. Keep it up.
Спасибо.
Your half-brother is proud to stand beside you.
You're an officer of the RCM, not some bon vivant.
Диван.
You know the expression, the clothes make the man?
Да.
The right outfit in the right situation can make all the difference in the world. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, detective.
A warm smile.
Anyway, we should probably get back to the case. Let's go.
Let's go. Очки. Не. А, сюда нельзя, окей. Интеридати. Не работает.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across a row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles prime. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence.
Ебать, как красиво. Ну, звучит в
A
смысле.
long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not the abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed. A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict, they stand, facing the wall. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them. Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one? Men of duty, dark duty. Murderers, twisted by orders, young boys forced into killing. The commandant, the one who gives the order, machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the
Да, я
start
бы тоже
of the
хотел
Civil
расстрелять
War.
пару коммунистов.
Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last... It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was
Or maybe
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the...
a cold sea wind blows away the figures. A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters from them. A single person stands on the sideline. A cold...
Так. Что? Лыжная шапка.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤. You must be Kim Kituragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in...
Nice to meet you.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. Yes, hypertext, young carp, and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Что?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn of the century.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Да, это так.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Of course, Detective, I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the 𝔻𝕚𝕬𝕤𝕚 Department of Justice has published a rather interesting... If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying? No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever. A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Уникальный номер.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should end of tone. Someone picks up.
Is that you, Pierre? So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died. Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant 𝔻𝕚𝕬𝕤𝕚 overheard you, to your relief. Calling. Still again. Someone with a masculine voice.
Hello, Gerard speaking.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, you're... No, what you are is a surprise. Get his wife on the phone.
Who is this? Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? Just tell me what's going on here. Bien, come here.
The sounds are muffled. You can make out two people, a man and a woman called Bien. Amid the howling in the wire, you make out a woman's voice with a thick Samarran accent. More shouting. You're
Бля.
pretty sure you hear a man saying fuck several times. Then the crackle in the phone line gets violently louder, like the surf breaking.
What the hell are you doing? Big deal?
This has lowered his opinion of you, but only a little.
Let's just go. I've had enough of this phone booth.
Согласен. Подожди, мы отсюда пришли, да? Я запутался совсем. А, ну да. Что это? На обороте открытия написано ад, что совершенно не соответствует действительности. Экономика на подъеме курон. Что это за хуйня? Опа.
The smell. It's awful and familiar. Don't be naive. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Oh, something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose. There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottle.
A tragedy.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads, Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. There's some tear. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, the smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is a bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. overcome with the awful surprise of it. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him. A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hard
Tear all around us.
Hrabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop. The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption.
This is an omen, a sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
Причем я в игре. По мне, так это просто очередной старый забулдыга. Сори, это я должен был отправить кое-что.
Well, at least you're not married.
Обидно.
Or, what if you are?
But let's try to not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now.
Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, but I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Да-да.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have... Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
Что значит кисло улыбается? Типа поджав губы так сильно?
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure. Although there's still a question of identifying the body. Looks like one of... But that's just...
This is an omen, a sign from above.
We do know that he was married. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. Looks like... But that's...
This is an omen.
And he was married. But let's try to not... From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. All right, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from 𝔻𝕻𝕬𝕞. Let them know we are taking the case.
Куда еще-то идти?
The remaining windows rattled from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
No, I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out.
Круто. Это что?
Here we go. Nice and easy. No.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some...
Who's there? Oh, the police.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it. To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Женщину.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 𝔻𝕻𝕬𝕞. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage, but there was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena,
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait.
For all his passion, this man is diligent and patient. You could learn things from him.
I've just always liked animals and puzzles.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up, if you prod a little.
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤, which is 4,082 items long, 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection. Yes, the Chateauquin forest pygmy, who turned out to be We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop. In fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent should our search contribute to making that number 0.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often. Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does. My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of... No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid, although I have come close. Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research. And so, yes? Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find. Good question. Being a phasmid of the end, I suspect it may have also developed other specialized techniques. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical but I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they...
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something...
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕚, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So, a typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the 𝔻𝕻𝕤𝕚 phasmid would be the apex of my, of any, cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long. Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen. Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the 𝔻𝕻𝕚𝕚 phasmid is more than mere superstition. Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis. Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions. Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate.
Ah,
Well, they may not look impressive, but 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤 designed them quite cleverly. So I'm sure... Yes. Simple. Attracted, at least, that's the intention. Locusts. Nearly all
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included...
Not a big fan of skepticism, this one.
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought. Yes. What? All right. What cryptids precisely? Are usually...
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decide. You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from 𝔻𝕚𝕤 or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialists would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees. They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here. Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove. I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be...
A lavender shadow.
I know you think we were snacking. Furthermore, I'm not so...
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
He doesn't want to make it feel like you knowing it is some big deal.
Believe me, you won't guess it. You either know or you don't. The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant. No, it will not get out of anywhere. The 𝔻𝕚𝕪𝕤𝕚 is a widely reported cryptid from Arda. It subsists entirely on flesh, and has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance. Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into them just like an ordinary Arden. You can't.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more. The recent surge in the moose population has hidden carnivores. The 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕤𝕚 are effectively removing competition for both themselves and their evolutionary cousins. Moose are already being hunted for sport. Can you imagine what would happen? Moose are already being hunted for sport. Can you imagine what would happen if they came to be viewed as predators? The carnivorous moose are a very young species. It makes sense that such a majestic animal with natural weapons, antlers, would come to rule the forest. One slaughterhouse at the outskirts, the moose would just stare at the building as though they were waiting for something. And that's not all. Some of the slaughterhouse apprentices...
This isn't something unique. Various species of deer have been...
Anyway, there is more than enough evidence to justify a thorough search for the 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕚. Let's close the subject, before it turns into an argument.
Here is a man who has had more than his fair share of heated arguments, and would...
That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes? Remarkable. When? That's what I thought. You haven't actually seen it. and I fear this mindless barbarism.
Yes. Sightings of mirages are... It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was just...
Oh, everyone knows about that one. Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler. No one remembers her. A flightless cursor owl, found in the Seminine Island. When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the ock hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤𝕤 liked extreme animals, you see. Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. The chasm of academic pretension still... No offence, officer. But me? I'm not a people person. By all means. By woman, you mean my wife, I assume? I will return to her. I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morale.
And leave the traps?
Come on. She wants us back.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting. Oh, yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now. No, no, no.
He's dead set on this.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Well, be that as it may, I'd really appreciate the help. Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind us. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them... You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just...
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture? Even relative to examining a week-old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Так. Здесь сколько я уже? Час пока что, да. Можно еще часик.
Wise choice.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted.
Finally.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you...
Ёбаный рот, неужели? Бесконечный диалог.
Hello, I'm Gary. Yellow Man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization. I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's...
Degenerates, this man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I've been tempted on occasion, but
Crypto
someone
fascist.
has to stay strong for Revacol.
He pronounces Revacol with a hard K, unlike other people. Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
I like to pronounce it the hard way. The old...
The stupid. He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's a secret rite, a very fringe nationalist handshake, probably. Garbage. You're a true patriot, and you know how it's said. The serene way. The fine way, with an elegant s.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally...
So you do know.
No. Nothing.
He's not feeling very comfortable. He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
My mug? Why would you think that? How do you mean? Forgive me.
He is trying to avoid lying to you outright, in case you really have been to his apartment.
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the... You're not going to find me, are you? Oh, God. 250? How am I gonna pay that?
This is a considerable expense to him. 1 month's wait. It's, in a way, admirable how quickly he composes himself after such a blow. This man digs authority.
And I'll never do it again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law. Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay, I was coming to throw the mug away.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty. Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but...
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after this topic is concluded.
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the so I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤𝕤 run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I should...
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
Does this mean you were in his apartment, admiring his colonial mug collection? Perhaps it would be interesting to tell him.
No.
What does he do then? This feels like a good opportunity to dominate him.
Oh, this and that. I'm doing all I can in this economy, officer. I work as a special courier. You know, urgent deliveries, overnight deliveries. Oh, I don't know the contents, officer.
He's trying too hard to seem untroubled by your question. The rigidity in his posture gives him away.
What do I look like? A pansy? Besides, that kind of cavorting goes against the community values that would strengthen our city.
Пенси? Первый раз слышу такое слово. Ну да, как крыса такая. Трус и крыса. Бобок, баба, гомосексуалист. Ну да.
You're a simple cop asking a simple question. He can't beat around the bush much longer.
Okay, fine. You got me. You heard me. I deliver topping pies. It's temporary. I'm looking for another job. Not many jobs for good men. They're wheat-free and vegan.
He's thinking of a way to gain some advantage from his
That's basically it.
I'm satisfied. Are you satisfied? Because I am.
Not many 𝔼𝕝𝕪𝕤𝕤𝕤 here, or anywhere.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good one? Well, this is that racist.
I don't know who that is, but all I meant was there are not many 𝔼𝕝𝕝𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤s around here. Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking.
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him when the lieutenant isn't here.
Not me.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead? At any rate, this is that racist.
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many 𝔼𝕝𝕪𝕤𝕚lites around here. I'm just stating a fact.
The lieutenant looks up at you, almost sadly.
Oh, no. Nothing like that. Definitely not scheming.
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be...
Not...
Do you remember how, well, this is that racist?
Hey, man. All I meant... No. No
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him when the lieutenant is...
Sure do.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
Mr. Everard? So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him. What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Whatever it is, tell him I'm silent as the grave. I won't do it again. If there's anything...
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door-opening operation.
Ну что, может попробовать?
Always a pleasure. I mean, officers.
That shirt looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to. It sounds like he's wearing some kind of armor under his clothes. You can't tell it's there just from looking at him. Probably stoked.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up. This shame is surprising.
Gary! What's go-
Later, Morale!
No, you've got explaining to do.
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I...
The hell, Gary!
I'll explain later. Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered, so I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me.
We're detecting sincere contrition here, sire. He's not trying to flatter anyone.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man.
They were thoroughly conservative men. It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying...
This is all he knows. He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat.
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clay.
Ой, 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 ой. Так. Легендарно. Это броня. Вместо чего я ее надену, интересно. Вместо куртки. Пусть будет.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water. Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy.
Ну. А здесь тупик, да? Угу. Интересно, как сюда попасть.
You see, a once bright, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Hello again.
Куда ты идешь-то, ну? А здесь что? А, ну да.
Hello, mister. Yes. They don't want to play. They look the same. They look identical.
Identical, типа. Я понял тебя, мелкая. А,
Tequila.
Да не
Tequila.
ты, блядь.
The legend returns. You know the dance. Don't call.
There's no way.
Как сюда попасть? Никак, видимо.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him.
You're stupid. Okay.
Да мы уже болтали.
Our tenant, please.
Ну да. Какие долгие загрузки.
Hi, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Внушение. Да куда? А, извините. Понял. Hey, look, this is my car. My car.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. Some tufts have been the constant, distant song, louder on this part of the coast. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. Surely. Anyway, the air is nice and fresh here.
Nothing has changed about this trap.
Остальные где? На краю земли, далеко на севере, на северо-восток от здания Фельд. Чё? В лагере криптозоологов. Это где, нахуй? Лодочной станции к западу от здания Фельд. Не ебу, где лагерь криптозоологов.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed. You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes. Keep saving that.
You find your hand. The box smells.
Economical, but
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him,
It's the man from Hendal.
walking away from his burning village.
their matter-of-fact tone belies their surprise at the fact that you didn't recognize the figure in the lie, sire, for no reason.
Huh? Oh, I see. That's tough, man. I feel the same way sometimes. The man from 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤, in fact,
Most people don't think that man from 𝔻𝕚𝕪𝕤𝕚 ever really existed.
𝔻𝕚𝕪𝕤𝕚 isn't a real place.
Neither is the man a real man, of course. But both the man and 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕚 are an ontological necessity.
Wow. What?
I mean, even if the man from 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕚 didn't exist before the adventure novels, the story...
Okay.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of core. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the 𝔻𝕚𝕚𝕚.
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say. Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you...
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking?
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I sympathize, I do, but this is a for-profit enterprise. Hello again. How can I help you?
Feeling warm and enthralled by the movement of light, while the mind continues to race forward. Lucky bastard. He's probably on Pyrrolidon. It's a drug developed by the military to treat and prevent radiation sickness. It has psychedelic side effects, and it makes your eyes turn yellow.
How would I know?
There's a note of indignation in his voice. Those triangle patches on his vest, you have a feeling they mean something, like they're similar to the halogen rectangle on your jacket.
I was with the emergency relief brigade. You know, had to take Pyrrolidon for...
He's taken it for mental and emotional, not physical pain these days.
A bad idea. Some poor leftist built a particle decay generator in hopes of bringing affordable electricity to one. We were an all-volunteer force, self-organized.
On the patch, gamma radiation lines crossed with a red drop of blood.
I lived by the river since I was a small boy. The 𝔻𝕚𝕪𝕤𝕚 didn't have the art to let it all go to shit without trying to do something to help out. There wasn't much the volunteer force could do, however. We wasted years in the river mud, years getting sick. There's a reason why everyone's tried to forget any of so much disappointment and early death. No one's.
So much bitter.
A bunch of poor people built themselves a primitive nuclear reactor. The cleanup happened 15 years ago. I was young, so I came to Martinez. People told me don't go there. It's a shithole. I said, people, I like the theory more than the story. Outward movement.
Yeah, You gotta get in on those vortices, my man.
Have you tried it before?
It's almost like he's worried for you. The lieutenant steps away, pretending to admire some of the knickknacks on display. Looks like he doesn't want to get involved. Go ahead then, he thinks. As long as you can walk straight, I don't care. He won't be your nog, but he won't be thrilled about this either.
Every day, you look the part. Here you go, man.
Not so sure about this. Because it's an anti-radiation drug, and you're a cop, not a post-apocalyptic scavenger.
Of course. Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
You see rows of toy sold. The boomboxes wait on the shelves, and your boombox, that gold and amber Harman Waushi, stares at you longingly with its tape reel. The boomboxes wait.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play in it.
Бля.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed with you press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing. It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing, telling you about the tiniest church in 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕤, surrounded by even tiny. Within seconds you know, this is the one. The real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to. This one tells it like it is. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Crying is good. It gives your performance. Yup, they're all here. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one of 𝔻𝕝𝕤𝕤𝕤. You have to convince 𝔻𝕝𝕤 to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant looks at you as you remove the tape from the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Окей.
All the old, a typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Так, ну что, пойдем?
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I help the I'm sorry, officer, but I really...
The only one you have.
The sandwich looks like a color. In addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one, you notice a brim of a tomato peek.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then? Sure, officer. They are the good guys around here. No, thank you.
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled approach. Time to get political. This right here is political.
What? What oppressors?
I am not going to listen to this comic connery.
Huh? I really don't understand how my sandwich could... I would rather just have this one, officer.
Tell this lost comrade what the people's sandwich would be like. Distill the essence of the working man in a sandwich. The skepticism emanating from the merry senior could be sensed, although he's not imagining it.
I don't want to. Look, officer, I like different, classic food.
Officer! Ah. Yes. The Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the night. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and...
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
She is nobody. This is none of your concern.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your...
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's...
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee. No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer, the container yard doesn't actually need...
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiners' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? Yes, like I...
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinions somewhere in Martinaise. It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. It's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience. It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. Tisk tisk, just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. What rationality? What sang-froid? What benevolence? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Then you've never lived through real chaos. Sometimes, in the face of great disaster, defending the status quo is progress. The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the... It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for real.
-2 сумрак. Хоть мне выполненных заданий так-то дохуя.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right? Cracked it. All in a good day's work. What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is. Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Didn't she repeatedly tell you her husband isn't missing though? But he is missing. You heard her, the worry in her voice. Do marriages make any sense? Does honor? You're not a filthy philosopher. You're an officer of law. It's time to ace this case and not brood over your reputation. We can deal with the perception management later. There's no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found right now.
Я вообще не понял, о чем речь. Вообще нихуяшеньки.
This 𝔻𝕚𝕤𝕚𝕚 mail collection box has been... A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, The box seems happy. Eat shit, pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
Хороший ящик.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft. As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They are also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
Ну не надо. Yes?
Yes?
Oh.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind? Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam.
Wait, there's something here, stored away in some dusty corner. It starts like...
Whoa. What else? Silent communion. That's good. Dang, that's some great shit. You came up with that?
Or did you learn it in school? More importantly, who can prove if you did? Go with it. You deserve some acclaim.
Right. But really, no bullshit. That's great stuff. I sort of want to know if it's yours. Fucking hey! Seems I got you all wrong. Cops aren't much known for their artistic sensibilities these days. It's good to meet a fellow poet. Someone with an appreciation for real text. The others here say you don't really get it. I get you. When they really click, it makes the world seem manageable.
You found some common ground with this man. Even impressed him. The next time you look in the mirror, though, remember those words.
Так.
A lorry, a bed.
Lowman, you called me at...
Lowman.
A lorry stuck.
О, ты.
Right to work!
Right to work.
Shame on you!
Hell no. I'm just an... It just has to be said. That was not a convincing line.
Fucking loincloth.
Loincloth? Now you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not to press the issue further, sire. He seems tense.
Fucking bug.
I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now, somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his...
Right to work.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you now? Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. I don't know about that. Anyway, like I said before, Bossman said that Weasel's not a friendly boy. So, thanks for helping out.
А чё я его потрогать больше не могу? Не понял. Язык чешется, извините. Right to work. Right to work.
Right to work! Hell, it just has to fucking loincloth. Now you fucking I'm going. How about
Okay.
there could be wet the man's breathing. Steady it.
Hola, Wandering Man. Yeah, like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a...
The encroaching doom is golden red. It is inside you. Your tequila sunset. You have always been tequila sunset. It has always been too late.
Boyadero!
You see his eyes turn teary with appreciation. He is extremely happy for you. You receive a good, strong handshake in return.
A really cool guy.
It feels like there's an entire history behind the word. But it doesn't really matter. You got it. You know what it means.
Like me and you. Exactly so.
The idea of alcoholic swill sloshing around in your bloodstream feels fairly unappealing.
A man walking on the edge of a razor, eh? Leaves more for me. So, anything else you wanted to discuss?
А теперь могу с ним пиздеть. Странно. Ну ладно. Секс. Сек. Ты... Сейчас. Ой. Back.
The tear machine stands. A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays.
Yeah, there's like an ampule somewhere.
Давай.
Okay, don't.
A colourful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Is this a...
Стоп, стой. Мне же нужен Т. Все, спасибо. Спасибо. Ладно, сейчас пойдем ютубчик смотреть скоро. Уже вот-вот.
Hello, compatriote.
An old call box. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commerce. An old East Delta Commerce Center. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. All right. Maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. There's the static again, whispering.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order? My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
It's you. My God.
Wait, is she...
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call?
Is this some kind of joke? The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and...
Ever since I came to work here, it's as if my mind's been wiped clean. It's so nice. It's so nice.
And then it hits you. She tries again not to cry, and still does. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this. Her sound melts into the static from a long distance. This is where you hung up the call the last time. But the phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by. No one replies, but the static grows. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rains.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries. Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together...
That is true.
Yeah. А тут чё?
Only the red cable is plugged into the breaker box.
Я ничего не буду трогать.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream. Turning the crank is all gone now. You'll never become a poet.
Да пошел ты. Hey, Kuno.
The trash containers. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Kuno's dad? Kuno doesn't give a fuck about anything. Yeah, like a fucking volcano. Yeah. Fucking.
You were lucky you didn't die there.
Yeah, Kuno's got some advice for you. What are you? Like 80, right? Maybe you should stop embarrassing you.
Perhaps you could compress this negative energy and turn it into some sort of a Kuno-fied non-vomiter. That's right. Turn your weaknesses into conceptual strengths. Try it again now.
Kuno doesn't fucking... Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What's going...
Ну, какие долгие загрузки.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What's...
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 секунд.
Kuno's like Kuno's
Это
dad.
прям долго-долго.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What's going...
Сука. Ну, еще пару раз попробую. Может, повезет. Еще раз 80 попробую, и все.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What's...
Something takes the part of me.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What?
So bad. I should fuck from me.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
You were too pushy last time.
Опа!
Think this through. Try to really understand the psychological bond Kuno has with Kuno S.
Kuno S.
Just look. While Kuno has no problem being near you, she always hides behind the fence, afraid for her life. She came up with that psychopathic scheme of screaming for help before. Kuno just wanted to talk to you about his name. Kuno S was the one who wound him up and directed him. Also, Kuno hasn't stopped talking to you, even enjoys it from time to time. When you talk to the other one, it's like talking to a cornered animal. She only hisses and says murder was the case that they gave her. All in all, Kuno respects madness. You cannot hope to outdo her on that front. You must win yourself a few minutes with him alone. Kuno S is by far the worst of the two. Kuno has no problem being near you, but the other hides behind the fence, afraid for her life. She came up with that psychopathic scheme of screaming for help before. Kuno just wanted to talk to you about his name. Also, Kuno hasn't stopped talking to you. All in all,
Fuck you whispering about?
he's whispering too. He's going with it. But watch.
Fuck you whispering about!
She puts extra stress onto that word, expecting it will make you uncomfortable.
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
This is it. You've got him. But be careful. You can still fuck this up. Don't make Kuno look bad in this.
Бля.
She's not fucked up. Everyone's fucked up. Stop judging shit.
Wrong move. But he's whispering still. You haven't lost him. Just don't mess up again. Or you will. There are no guarantees here.
It's okay. The pig's trying to pit us against each other.
Пидор. Я буду пытаться, блядь, пока жопа не намокнет.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
What's...
Начинается, нахуй. Something takes to body.
Kuno's like Kuno's dad.
You were too pushy. Just look. She came... Also, all in all, Kuno respect...
Fuck you whispering about?
He's whispering too. He's going with it. But watch what happens.
Fuck you!
She puts...
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
Whisper, pig?
This is it. You've got him.
Crazy? You don't know the half of it. She's not crazy. She's insane. Dangerous. She's smoked a man. She's done people in. Probably even pigs.
Stop talking to him! Kuno, I'm fucking warning you! You're gonna get us into shit!
She understands what you're trying to do.
Yo, see? Did Kuno not tell you? Kuno told you. Kuno talks to whoever he wants. Talk, pig. Kuno's got it under control.
You did it. They're separated. He's even turned his back to her, so she can't read his lips.
Kuno means she killed someone. That's right. She's a killer. Like, actually a killer.
His little green eyes are fixed on yours. He's meant everything he said before, but right now, he not only means it, he is sincere.
Are you getting this? You think I'm fucking telling you a joke here? How hard do you think it is to kill a fat ass? Sweet talk him, then knife him. She's probably killed a pig too. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has. Forget Kuno said that. Kuno was just shitting. Kuno was just running his mouth. Kuno's stupid like that.
A cop would be too large for her to overpower, but a determined child of her size can still kill the creature peers at you both from over the fence. There is something searching in her eyes. Kuno falls silent. He does.
Kuno, that's it. That's what Kuno was starting to think, yeah. Kuno means she...
His little green eye. He's meant everything he said before, but...
Fucking yeah. Kuno knows you don't want to face this right now. This dark shit. Kuno faces this She's probably killed a pig too. I mean, I knew you pigs were too naive for this shit. Good thing Kuno's got her under control. Kuno keeps her calm.
A cop would be too large for her to over... The creature peers at you both from over the fence. There is something searching.
Yeah, she would have liked to fuck him up, but she didn't. Kuno wasn't around. And see, look, Kuno's gonna put you at ease. We didn't do it.
Слушай.
He speaks the truth, my liege.
Yeah, she's psycho. None of that kiddie psycho. Cat burning shit. She does the real deal. Yeah. Snuff radio shit. Believe me, pig.
And he doesn't even want to think about it. This isn't just another boast.
Fuck knows. She says it's the song of her people or some shit.
Я ебал. Ну, блин, ну, иногда перевод вот странный. Типа, я знаю, что разработчики, ну, в смысле, люди, которые локализовали игру, они очень хорошо спикают в сленге. Именно, во-первых, выдуманного для игры языка, во-вторых, английского. Ну, fuck knows, это не я ебал, как бы, ну, come on.
Crazy people? The fucking nakis? I don't know.
Some things are too awful to dwell on. The nakis and runkaris might be some kind of defense mechanism.
Fuck no, she's not my sister. She's just a stray who got in, like a mad dog or some shit. Yeah, she was just there.
What was that, Kuno?
She was in the hallway, dripping wet, by the fucking shoe rack, in the dark. Kuno's got no fucking idea. Her hair was all wet. I think she pissed on the floor too. She was there for 3 days, in the corner, every time Kuno went out. I don't know. Someone left the door open. Kuno comes home and she's sleeping under the desk, under a pile of clothes. Kuno's dad doesn't give a shit. Doesn't even see her there. Or thinks it's fucking Kuno. Shit's all on
Kuno, Kuno-S, two of a kind.
Kuno-S?
Because she fucking looks like Kuno. No one knows her name. Kuno told you this shit was Psycho Killer. How's Kuno dealing? Kuno's dealing just fine. He doesn't need you fucking with any of it. C doesn't either. Kuno's got this shit under control. Listen, listen. C is Kuno's go-to. Kuno's protecting her. You fuck with C, you fuck with Kuno. You threaten her.
This is what it all comes down to. He needs you to take him seriously now.
I'm going to kill you. I'll run when you put the cuffs on her, sneak up on you later, and fuck you up. You understand? All right, now we can do business. Yeah, what do you want? Kuno can hook you up with...
Oh, don't hook him up with shit, Kuno.
See, relax. He respects the Kuno. Kuno made him respect the Kuno. You respect the Kuno, you get all kinds of shit. Remember when you tried to get Kuno to hook you up? We can get on that now. If you run a little errand for the Kuno, me and you, see, it's tension and release with Kuno. Now we releasing. The pan buying shit, that's on now too. 90% discount for Kuno's pig. Kuno can flex. Kuno flexes for hobos. Kuno sees you're in need. Kuno gets it from his dad. Kuno and his dad are major suppliers. That's where Kuno gets his lightning on. Problem is, Kuno and his dad had a little falling out. Now junkies clawing at Kuno's door. Streets going mad. Dirty Popo Man is you. In there is Kuno's violent dad on steroids. Kuno's dad does steroids, and Kuno's dad is a fucking monster. He's the most violent man in Revachol. He does...
Are you sure you can take on the most violent man in Revachol? In your condition?
Like half. A baggy, but like in this vial.
That's half a gram.
Yeah, half a G. Want it or not? Fuck you talking about half a G?
You can barely see it because there's barely any.
Okay, Kuno's listening. Sure, whatever. If you survive, make sure to bring that shit back to Kuno. Kuno's violent dad's got Kuno's key. So you need to fuck your way in there. Go to the pier side, bang on the door till the cleaning gimp lets you in. That's how Kuno... Then you go to room 12 and kick down the door, police violence style. That's what Kuno does. And then that's it. Next time Kuno sees you, you better have his shit.
What the hell are you signing us up for here?
Я убью отца Куна.
Okay then.
Kuno doesn't...
Отлично. Я же не загружу... Да. Ну все. Что ж. Аж даже подустал же. Ну что происходит? Автосохранение. Это хорошо. Couldn't give a fuck? Couldn't give a shit?